Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that magic moment has arrived once again in your life where the Bill Crane Report is on the air. Here's my friend Dwayne Weiss with me to make it official.
Bet you just couldn't wait, right?
That's it. And I'll tell you, a lot of things to talk about today. So without any further ado, I'm going to just barge right into it.
Good, that's the way to do it.
Now, I'm going to take the first 10 or 15 minutes that I usually bombast all sorts of people with, and I'm going to tell you a story. I would love to have a show called Guys and Dolls with Dwayne and I and two ladies.
It's like a casting call.
Yeah. And
but no casting couch.
Right. And for the woman's point of view, I think it would add a lot of depth to our show. So what I'm looking for would be an articulate, well-spoken, intelligent lady who would like to come on, along with my sister, Cheryl Kelly, and lend some balance here.
A little feminine view on some of these things.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you say, well, Bill, you and Dwayne do a marvelous job of telling us exactly what the scoop is. How would it be any different? Well, let me tell you, here's a few things. Here's quite a few articles about abortion and the different legal fights that are being fought around the country, the pro-life versus the pro-choice people. And you know, Dwayne and I could talk about this forever. I know in my heart I am opposed to abortion. But as I wrote one time, 10 or 12 years ago, when I was writing for the Boomerang, I've never been a scared 15-year-old girl in my life. So I don't know. There's more room for more than one opinion, but it is still killing. And it's a difficult subject, but would be great.
Yeah, it would.
To have a woman's point of view on
There's a lot of other things too, other than that.
Well,
that, you look at Islam today.
Yep.
And the women that embrace Islam, yet they're discriminated against.
Terribly.
Big time.
Terribly.
Why you and I, we can't understand why anybody with a half a brain would even go close if you were a female to that kind of a situation, but yet they do. We don't understand why.
Don't
so
understand
maybe somebody
in Saudi Arabia, I mean, now I'm not sure how it works now. I know they're loosening things a little bit. But I'd be willing to bet you the old-fashioned way is still being done, and that is, if you're tired of the wife, you walk up to her and say, I divorce you 3 times.
Yeah, it's done.
I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, and she's out of there.
But she's got no choice the other way around. None whatsoever.
And has no money.
No. She's
none at all.
She's considered property.
That's right.
Yep. I see Iran just now allowed women to go to sporting events.
Oh, no. No, Iran's always been open.
Which one? Was
Iraq.
it Saudi? Iraq. But they got to sit in a separate section. Of course, it's the cheap seats.
Yeah. No, Iran actually was quite Western under the Shah.
Was Iraq then?
Yeah. So we've got an article like this written in the Globe about those women for Trump. Actually, this is not a bad article.
No, it's not.
It's an eye-opener. But this is the kind of thing
we got today's Globe. There's pushback.
I'm sorry?
There's pushback today.
Pushback. Okay.
Women writing letters in.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, we can't have that.
Oh no.
Here's an article. Now, fight to end co-ed field hockey.
Yep.
We actually have boys, high school boys, playing on girls' field hockey
That's
teams
right.
and winning championships, state
Of course.
championships.
Of course.
They're bigger, they're stronger. I mean, jeepers creepers. I mean, it just stands to reason that they're going to rise right to the top.
Yeah.
This isn't fair. No,
But
maybe we'll get someone on that says, hey, bring them on. We'll,
Some of this
Who knows?
is backlash from Title IX.
yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And even the field hockey, I know in the Midwest, there are girls in the men's wrestling teams,
Yeah.
or men on the women's wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
If it was the other way around, I could, no, I don't know. It's not right. I don't
It's not
think it's
right.
No. And here's an article from the New York Times. They endorsed 2 presidential candidates, Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota and our own Senator Warren. And what they're saying is, we endorse the 2 women. Either one.
Yeah. Okay. That's again. That's
So we want a woman's point of view on that. Here's a men's editorial about it, calling it laughable. Okay? But this is the kind of thing that I want very much to have someone else's opinion between, other than Dwayne and I. It would make for a better show. Here's an interesting article. The Boston public school system is possibly going to be placed under state regulation, state. And in a separate article, board urges state actions for struggling Boston schools.
But did you see what they want to do now?
But way over here is a different article. Boston Public School Operations Chief is placed on leave.
As of today, they will not say why.
That's exactly right.
Will not say why.
Does one have something to do with the other?
Oh, I think so.
But education is something that I think ladies could lend a lot of balance. Here's 2 other things here. Lower voting age, 16 and 17-year-olds.
I wonder.
Love to get ladies' comments on that.
My comment on that is, why not go to 9 or 10?
Well, just let them all vote, sure.
Bring your crayons. Make a mark.
Father charged with killing 5 infants.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Bail set at $4 million for a Utah teen who just sat in the house and waited for his mother and 3 younger siblings to come home and shot them all, killed them. Father came home and the father took the gun away from him. But it'd be interesting to see how ladies would feel. I'm sure they'd be appalled, but that kind of spin too. Caught in the middle. Now, in the State House, they have had quite a thing about NDAs, which is non-disclosure agreements.
Yep.
And now you may find this hard to believe, but senators and reps are sexually or otherwise, I guess, probably power-wise too, leaning on ladies for cooperation. Other senators and pages and...
That's not hard to believe after all the years that's been going on.
But here's the deal. So she goes to the Speaker of the House, and he deputizes somebody to hear her case. And then they decide to give her $50,000 and a pat on the back and a glowing recommendation, and off she goes. She quits. However, this is hidden in the dark. The rep or senator that was doing the groping is not identified. The lady, or men, I guess, is not identified. The amount of money is not identified. But eventually, I guess there's a line item that kind of shows how much money has been paid out to these people.
It does get out.
Yeah, and people are saying, what the devil's going on in there? And Governor Baker, boy, I'll tell you now, there's a study in courage. He stood right up and said, none of our business.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yep. He's not going to get involved in this and doesn't think it should be disclosed, and he's on Bobby DeLeo's side.
Well, they're all that. There's a whole group that protect themselves.
Yep.
It's CYA all the way for these people.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's the same old story. Listen,
if a state trooper gets caught on a Friday night driving drunk, you'll never know about it.
Never is right. Here's an interesting story. Lawmakers ponder, when is someone an adult?
That's a good question. That's been thrown around for a long time.
Here's one, Ayanna Pressley in her rant against Charlie Baker. And I really like this. She's speaking out against hatred. And
you ever notice somebody like Miss Presley speaking out against hatred? The very thing she's doing is spewing hatred about hatred.
She said, hate and white supremacy.
Oh, you got to hook with those. Her, you got to hook that together. That's her.
Codified through legislation is ruining this country, not identity politics, which are often cited by conservatives to mock and silence dissent by marginalized group. There is nothing wrong with identity. I'm still an abolitionist because my people are still not free. Hate and white supremacy.
You notice how they got hooked together?
Yeah.
Conveniently, again?
I'm sorry. I took that back. Hate and white supremacy.
You're right.
Yeah. Handcuffed together.
Yep.
One item. Here's a poll of adults. 81% of adults polled said they were excited about Valentine's Day. Only 68% said they were excited about Christmas. I'd like a lady's point of view on that. Topless Utah woman dealt legal setback. If men can go out, sun themselves and walk around without a shirt, why can't women?
Why can't women?
The courts ruled otherwise.
That was tested in Vermont.
Yep. Arizona court rules in frozen embryo case. Officers fired over Stormy Daniels' arrest. Well, there's an awful lot more to that story than meets the eye. Court split on aid to religious schools. Let teens be teens, not voters yet. Bill would lower local voting age to 16 or 17. And as Harry and Meghan step back, Queen Elizabeth steps up.
Yep. These are the kind of things that we would tackle on this program.
That's right.
Get a different viewpoint.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
if you're interested in something like that, let us know.
Somehow or other, maybe in one or two instances, we'd deal with this with a hammer or a meat cleaver.
Pretty much.
Perhaps someone with a little more finesse and a little more thought, a little more compassion, might have a different spin on it. Now, Do you see anything interesting about that picture? Study it carefully. What do you think about the coloration of that picture?
I don't know. I think she's got a pretty blue dress. The Queen's got a pretty blue dress on.
Yep. I've never seen Meghan look
in black.
as dark as that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Somebody a little bit heavy on the coloring on the.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it. Photoshopping.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. They won't drive. I didn't know that she was considered part African American.
She is. Yeah.
But you couldn't tell.
No,
it's not
I know it.
And now
But
all of a
in that
sudden they're
picture,
starting to show darker and darker.
Yeah.
It's a trick that they use.
I know. But it's the trick the other way, too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Now,
Michael Jackson was always showing white.
Oh, yeah.
Even whiter than he was.
Yeah. Well, because he was taking all that bleach creams and all that stuff. Yeah, we got one more here. And I've got a whole folder on this because it was a swirling controversy here a few months ago. Prostitution, the legalization thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayanna Pressley is for it. So you take I wrote here, take the pimp out of the equation, and it's a totally different deal. But another subject. So, friends, if someone would like to come on the show and participate, we'd certainly enjoy having another lady on the show. And I'll tell you what, I know that you may say to yourself, if I go on there and make a fool of myself, well, look, here's the deal we'll make. Come on, do a program with us, if you'd like to.
Come back again.
And we'll burn a copy of it, take it home, look at it, and if for any other reason you say, I don't want this to go on TV, bango. We'll destroy it, and that'll be that. So,
money back guarantee.
That's it. I'll tell you, and where else could you go and have as much fun as sitting down with a couple of cool dudes like you and I?
I'll guarantee it's going to be the fastest hour you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It goes by immediately.
Yeah. So, I've got a lot of things I want to talk about. I have something here. I wish to heck I'd put this in better order, but I didn't. However, I have a story to tell you, and I think you'll enjoy this, sir.
Okay.
So yesterday, I was doing some travels about and ended up in a concern, talking to a couple of ladies, and there was a third lady that worked there also, and one thing led to another, and she happened to mention to me that she dreads going home at night. She said, I'm getting more junk mail. She said, I just sit and throw it all away. She says, it drives me crazy.
I don't bring it in. I go walk through the garage and it just goes right in the can.
So I said, yeah. I says, I know you subscribe to this magazine or that magazine. They sell your name and, oh, God. She says, well, she says, I've discovered the worst is AARP. They must sell their subscription list to everybody in the world.
They do a lot because
she says, I get more stuff that's got AARP's fingerprints all over it.
Mm-hmm.
She says, and you know me, I have a tough time keeping my yappa shut.
Yep.
And I don't know these ladies, but I said, you know what? I said, it's the Democrats that are all behind that AARP stuff. She says, I know. She said, and that's the other reason I heave it all in the basket.
I know they do some because Monica belongs to, well, we both do because of her, but she only uses the first 4 letters of her first name.
Mm-hmm.
So Moni, she gets Moni this and Moni that. You know where that came from.
Oh, yeah.
She signed up different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So anyway, so then she goes, shh. I said, oh, walls have ears? She says, well, no. She says, there's 3 of us that work in this department. She said, and the other gal and I, we're good. We just don't know about the other girl. We've never talked about politics. We don't know anything about her, and she doesn't know anything about us. And, you know, in a big company like this, you got to keep your yap shut and all that. But I said, I understand totally. She says, there's a lot more of us than they think.
Oh, absolutely.
She said, do you watch Fox News? I said, oh, yeah. She said, when I go home, the first thing I do is get myself husband's supper ready. We bring it in the living room and sit down for 5 on 5 on Fox News. And she says, we eat our supper there. And then we have a break. Mm-hmm. And then 8 o'clock, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
So she says there's an awful lot of us out there. They're going to be surprised in this election.
That's an interesting subject because if you look or listen to the local media, you'd think that Republicans or conservatives were rare as hen's teeth. They weren't, and they're the enemy. They're the bad. They're this. Everything's negative. But people today are afraid to say, yeah, I watch Fox News. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where it was. I think it was a senior center one day. I said, yeah, I saw something on Fox. And somebody said, oh, yeah, Fox. Well, you know, like it was a communist manifesto, getting it from there. But I said, you know, you should not have to be ashamed or keep quiet where you get your news source, who you like politically, who you don't like politically. It's still a free country. Yeah. But around here, particularly in Massachusetts and other places too, but we see it as a hot spot here. To say that you were a Republican is almost like saying I'm a pervert.
Well, it's like the Scarlet Letter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well put the Scarlet Letter on, the big R.
Yeah, or a big, put it on your forehead.
Right.
Brand it on, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I don't know if all of us conservatives have gone underground or what, but we are kind of, we don't really project our status as a liberal does.
I know.
And we don't have...
They think that they're right.
Absolutely.
And they think it's their mantra to try to stuff it down your throat.
Yep.
And you know, you can't argue. I do, but
no, you can't argue with them.
Just in the end, all you end up with is a pain right in your squash. But Jerry Falwell said it best when he called them the silent majority.
Exactly. That is a perfect term.
Yep, it is. But anyway, it was an interesting few minutes I spent chatting with them, and she said, don't worry, there's plenty of us around. So, interesting.
And it's not as bad here in Norfolk because this town will vote Republican sometimes.
Yeah, this town is usually pretty solidly Republican.
But if you put a mega hat on and walk down the streets of Brookline or Cambridge or some places of Boston, you're taking your life in your hands.
Well, you are. Yeah, absolutely. Now, so guess what I did Sunday afternoon?
What?
The boys and I went to the car show down at Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And it was good.
Did you see the new vet?
No. You know what? As from an engineering point of view, I'm sorry I missed it, but the rest of it, I was interested in cars that someday I might own, you know.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But I would tell you, as an aside, the car that I absolutely fell in love with, and by the way, and Consumer Report does, Motor Trend does also. You don't hear much about it, but the Hyundai Genesis 90
Yep.
goes for about 80 grand. I gotta tell you, what a wagon that thing is. Oh, man.
Yeah, the whole Genesis line.
Yeah.
They're so well equipped and so well engineered.
Yeah. Yeah, and they go like hell.
Yep.
Yeah. I was very impressed. So we're leaving. And I had my grandson with me too, and Patrick and Peter. And the biggest booth, there was different booths that were selling stuff too, you know. The biggest booth was selling Trump sweatshirts and ball caps.
Oh, boy.
And beer mugs, you name it. Well, that cost me $85 before I was able to get past that.
Couldn't walk around the backside, could you? But that doesn't really surprise me, because there are certain areas that you're going to draw more conservatives, and a car show would be one. Anything to deal with
the outdoors, fishing,
sporting,
and hunting,
sporting events.
Yeah, that was a Republican crowd that was there. Guys are cars and trucks. That's a guy thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you know. And but the show itself was good. I got to sit in a few of the cars. I'm interested in. Peter's interested in leasing a car. Okay. So he must have sat in. There was 3 or 4 of them he liked. He must have gone and sat in them 10 times. Mm-hmm. Oh, and now wait a minute now. Is this as good as the other one? And he'd run over there and go sit in that. And man. But anyway, it was a good show. And a good time. And it cost me $85.
Today, a car, there's a lot of good cars out there.
There is.
There's a few that are not so good, but
they all seem to last, though.
Oh yeah, they've come really improve that. But today, being the age and everything else, I put a lot of stock in how easy and how difficult it is getting in and out of it.
Oh yeah, my wife
used to be that way. I wouldn't even consider that, you know. But now that's. I rented a newer Camry this past summer, and I know they had lowered them a couple 3 inches.
Oh, you didn't need that.
And I'll tell you, I noticed it trying to get in and out of the thing. You know, it's kind of like having your.
No fun.
No, it wasn't.
You know, Peter was again. He's talking about leasing a car. It almost works for him financially. He didn't want a Camry. He liked the Honda Accord, but he really liked the Kia Hyundai Twins.
Yeah,
they're both basically the same car.
The Sorento
a little different.
Yeah.
And he thought they were a lot more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what was a real nice vehicle is the brand new Volkswagen. You know, the Passat used to be the big one. They got another one now that's bigger. I don't know the name of it. It's not a catchy name or anything, but it's bigger than the Passat. It seems like a nice car. I mean, comfortable and laid out intelligently. Who knows how it drives, but anyway, we had a good time.
Good.
And now, got a lot of things here to talk about. One of this I thought was a pretty intelligent thing in the newspaper a couple of Sundays ago. Actually, the last Sunday. Step up your savings. And it's mostly talking to younger people, middle class. And first thing, create and maintain an emergency fund. You know, before you go and buy something, you should have $8,000 to $10,000 in the bank that you're not going to touch. That's your emergency fund.
It is amazing, though, today. I just saw something about that, too, that how many people will have trouble if they got an unexpected $400 bill or that month, or a $1,000 bill. It was 60-70% would have trouble going up with the money.
Trouble. They would have trouble instantly paying.
Yeah.
Now they'd go borrow money.
Well, of course, but if
something
unexpectedly come up with, they used a $400 bill and a $1,000 bill, and it was amazing how many people $400 would have made trouble, and some of them were professional people.
It was amazing when it went up to 1,000.
Yep.
And how many guys that are making $75,000 or $100,000 a year that couldn't get $1,000 cash right away?
But you know what, Bill? We were raised a little different. We were raised a lot different.
A lot different is right.
If we wanted something, we would wait years and years. Then, well, should I or shouldn't I? Should I get this or shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Today, and I don't mean just today. I mean 30, 40 years younger than Bill and I. They just went out and bought. How much is it a month?
Yeah.
Oh, $300? That's all right. I can handle that.
I can handle that,
yeah.
Well, the other thing they never think about is, my insurance rate's going to go up with a new car.
Yep.
I got to put collision on it. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a sales tax on top of it. Then I'm going to get an excise tax in the mail.
Right. That's right.
Holy moly. There's a whole bunch of strings attached to that. Plus, the dealer then grabs you for $500 or $600 or something destination fee.
Yeah, these,
whatever that means.
Even a big. I mean, you see these kids getting into these mortgages.
Yep.
That would scare the living hell out of me signing a mortgage like that. But they don't seem to think anything of it.
Nope. Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? This is what I want.
FHA now has got these 3% and 4% down mortgages.
Yep.
Okay, well, you know what the string is that's attached to that? You got to have PMI.
Of course.
Yeah. So you're talking a couple of $1,000 a year PMI, depending again on the the amount that you paid for the house. Well, I tell you, there was a fellow once said there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Yeah, well, that is something that should be tattooed on some of the Democratic presidential candidates.
Yeah.
Right here in their hand, every time they look down, there's no such thing as free lunch.
That's right.
They tend to think that there is.
Yep. Pay off high interest credit card debt.
Oh, that I've seen different figures on what credit card debt per person per capita is, and it's amazing.
I can't believe the average debt is like $8,000.
Yeah.
Now, is that a snapshot in time that you get billed $8,000 a month, or that your balance is $8,000, but at the end of the month you pay it all off?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
I think
that's an ongoing debt.
Interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And they pay off some and they charge some, but they've always got that $8,000 hopper, the debt hopper there. And that's crazy today because the interest rates on those are obscene, some of them.
Yeah.
24, 25%.
Yeah. I mean, there was one I saw the other day that if you were late on a payment, it immediately went to 29%.
Yep.
Yumpin' Yemeni.
Just next time you get, I know our viewers are not in that situation, but next time you get a credit card statement, they're required by law to say, if you made the minimum payment, this is how long it's going to take you to pay off this bill, and this is what you're going to pay. But that's considering that you don't charge another penny on that card. That is just that card alone. And that statement, that's all you're going to charge. But people don't do that. You do this every month.
And they lay a number on you like 73 months or something like that.
Oh, it's huge.
Unbelievable. Here's another one, too. Contribute to your workplace retirement plan. Your 401k, 403b, Roth IRA, whatever it happens to be. Contribute it and contribute the max.
For our younger viewers out there, old age comes faster than you think it does.
Yeah.
Bill and I were as young as some of you are now.
Were we?
Yeah, believe it or not. But it didn't seem like long ago.
No,
and
I know
somehow I used to say, how did it get this damn old this fast?
Yeah.
It comes on quick.
I know it. You know, and I talk to my sons, talk to anybody that asks me questions. Same thing. I tell them the same thing. Save something every single either week, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending upon how you get paid. When you get a paycheck, even if it's just a stub, even if you got electronic deposit, take something out and put it in a savings account. Pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Then pay your bills. Don't wait till you pay all your bills and you'd say, oh, rats, I got nothing to put away this month.
Exactly.
Yep. Consider that a payment, just like the light bill, the water bill, your car payment. Pay yourself in your retirement fund or into a bank account, into an IRA, whatever. Set up an estate plan and get enough life insurance. You know, the kids think they're going to last forever.
That's right.
People don't die young. But then you say, gee, do you know any of your friends that have died? Well, yeah. Robbie was killed in that automobile accident, and so-and-so, oh, God, that was awful, and blah, 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 and then he got sick. And so it does happen. But you think you're never the bullet will never hit you.
Yeah, that's human nature.
Yep.
It won't happen to me.
And then the next statement, too, is, well, if it hits me and kills me, I don't have anything to worry about. Why should I worry?
Yep.
My worrying days are over. So I don't know. Sometimes...
Well, if you're single and have no dependents and no relatives, close relatives, or that, that's probably true, but that's a hell of a way to live.
Yeah. But those are just a couple of things that I thought were very important to repeat to you guys and to think about it, you know. By the way, USMCA, the president signed it today.
Okay.
Now, for you folks that might possibly be initial challenged, USMCA is the agreement, the trade agreement with
3 countries.
us, Canada, and Mexico. So it's I think Mexico now has to approve it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the voting was 89 for and 10 against. Gee, here's some interesting names that voted. By the way, the Democrats, this was passed long ago by the president and sent to the House, signed and everything. But the House, of course, and the Senate have to approve it. The Democrats sat on this for a year and did nothing to embarrass the president. Here's the names of the senators who voted against this. Bernie Sanders.
That's a shocker.
Chuck Schumer.
That's another shocker.
Karen Gillibrand, New York Democrat. Yeah. Cory Booker,
another
New
shocker.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, Democrat, California. This one will shock you. Hold on. Ed Markey.
Oh, my God.
D. What does that mean? Democrat or dead?
Dumb.
Okay. Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island.
Yep.
Someone said he's probably the dumbest guy in the Senate. Jack Reed, Democrat, Rhode Island.
Another one.
Brian Schatz, Democrat, Hawaii.
Don't say too much right now so far for the East Coast.
And Pat Toomey, a Republican from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
He didn't like the wording of something.
Well, you can see that once in a while somebody gets a hair here and there.
And that's it.
Because of something like that.
Yeah.
But for the first group that you listed who were candidates, they don't want Trump to get any credit for anything. It doesn't matter.
That's right. I couldn't have said it myself better myself.
They will fight that because they don't want anything positive surrounding President Trump.
Yep. By the way, Elizabeth Warren, and I don't have the quote, I just happened to think of it, but she was questioned about how she's going to afford free college tuition, paying off the balance of all the student loans.
Just tax the rich, that's all.
Health care for all.
Yep.
And on and on and on it goes. And she said, well, we'll work it out. But how?
They
now,
they can't tell you that because it's not possible.
Well, there was a think tank that produced a number such as $62 trillion.
Yeah.
Over 10 years. And does that help? She says, who knows? She says, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, she says, you don't know, and yet you're running on this platform? We'll make it work. And then she tried to walk away.
You could ask her. She probably knows, but she'll never admit it. What our national budget is a year.
Yeah,
it's a tenth of what she's asking for,
well, I know.
or a 20th of what she's asking for.
I mean, the woman is.
And that's just one program of hers.
Yeah, it's like a snapping turtle with a stick.
Yep.
You put the stick in his mouth and he grabs onto it. You can't pull it out. Once she told the story of this was her.
Yeah,
she was going to run on. She's not going to deviate from it.
She's locked into it.
That's
now.
it. Yeah. And I'll just deviate from my notes here. You know what's got to be an extremely troubling box to be in is a Democrat who has to explain away the economy and why raising taxes and putting restrictions back on business and back on banks is going to make their lives better.
That's right. Well, it's
a
Herculean task to try to fight that. And only that Stiers, that fool, is going up against Trump based on the economy. He is a just certified fool, as far as strategies go.
He said the other day, the American worker has not had a raise for 40 years.
Yeah.
What in the name of God has he been smoking?
Yeah. Well, he brags, I am a billionaire. That's with a B. And I went from 15 billion to 30 billion. Well, how did you do that, sir? On whose back did you ride that? Somebody had to, you had to take that from somebody.
Yeah.
And the first day I'm in office, I'm going to close down the fossil fuel people.
Yep, everybody.
Well, you forget that you just own 6 of the largest coal companies in the country, and that's how you got your billions.
Well, he sold them.
Well, of course he did.
And then he became a hedge fund manager.
Yeah, and then he got religion.
Yeah. So now
environmentally religion.
Yeah.
But conveniently so.
These guys, I don't see how they can look at themselves in the mirror. And Sanders is about the only one that's truthful. With his giveaway program, he says he's going to tax the rich and the middle class.
And it's going to cost you a lot of money. Yeah,
By the way, he's surging in the polls. Which reminds me, I've got a note to myself here to ask you a couple of questions.
I think that some of Sanders' surge is coming from a very young base that believes that kumbaya and we can do this and peace and love and we don't have to do this. And
that bunch is they're ideologues.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I knew you'd come up with a big word.
I found what I was looking for here. By the way, you know what's an interesting... yeah, I've got all my little notes out. You know what's an interesting thing? Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat.
No, he's an independent.
He's an independent.
Yeah, he's been an independent for a long time.
Yeah, but he's running for the Democratic nomination.
Yeah.
So the Democrats can't find enough people within their party?
I don't understand that.
And also, Bloomberg was a Republican all his life.
That's right.
He's 78 now, and 2 years ago he changed and became a Democrat.
Trump used to be a Democrat.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Go figure. So much for the deep pool of Democrat candidates.
And Hillary was the head of the Young Republicans in college.
Yeah. You know, so much for that. Warren can't tell the truth. Biden is not aging well. He had a couple of sound bites on this morning that made him look stupid. And Mayor Pete has no record to run on at all. So you know what? Get set. Hello, Hillary.
I believe you're right.
She is standing in the wings.
We got 10.
I've said this before. I'll say it again.
Yep.
She is going to get her way into this mess.
Yep, she's going to walk right in and be the savior.
So,
but you know, Pete, Mayor Pete, he could have had a chance if he just stayed away from the radical group or the progressives group and just said, Bernie, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Warren, you're nuts. You can't do it. There's no money involved. We have to work on things like infrastructure. We have to work on things on people having real jobs. We got to work on stuff. Common sense stuff that affects you day to day.
Yeah.
And he started out that way, and all of a sudden he drank the Kool-Aid with the other ones. Because the whole media said, oh, this is what you want. Do you want this progressive?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Well, I think they got to him and said, now listen, Mayor Pete,
exactly.
The party is progressive.
Yep.
They are moving that way.
We have to support this group.
Don't stay back here in the station waiting for the train to come in. The latest poll yesterday out of Iowa, Biden 26, Sanders 23, Warren 14.
She's slipping fast.
Yeah. In fact, I think that they'll be singing It's All Over for her sooner rather than later.
Today's paper, they said that she's kind of de-emphasizing Iowa and moving on onto Michigan, working on Michigan now instead of Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa that ship might have sailed for her.
Yeah, in New Hampshire, she's not going to win New Hampshire either. In fact, she's doing much poorer in New Hampshire than she's doing in Iowa. By the way, another interesting number. 56% approve of President Trump's handling of the economy. This isn't Republicans or Democrats, it's just voters. And there's two sets of numbers out. And they're both very, very good.
Well, it's hard to not approve of how he handles the economy.
Well, exactly
He does stuff that's common sense.
Yep.
Once in a while, he goes a little overboard. He gets a little bit, his gut tells him something that wasn't really right. But overall, he's pretty astute on when it comes to dollars and cents.
Let me tell you something. He is a smart guy. You don't get out of the Wharton School by being a dummy. No. Question.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the unemployment rate in the U.S. is 3.5%. In Europe, it is 7.5%.
Yep.
Twice as many.
And 3.5 is actually almost zero.
Yep, that's right. Essentially.
Because, when you get down to that last 3 and 4%, those people are mostly not employable.
Yep, exactly. So, the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Coming up this Sunday, Kansas City,
Still 1 point favorite. It hasn't changed all week. Nope. I check it every morning to see if there's been a change. So that means that Vegas's money right now is just about even coming in.
Yep.
There's no smart money showing up. Nope. It might show up usually at the end.
Yeah, it will. But who knows? Maybe 50-50 smart money. But anyway, Kansas City by the point over San Francisco. I'm saying San Francisco. What do you call them?
I think you're going to be right. I would rather see Kansas City win. I don't know why. I just was never in favor of a NFC California team.
Well, you know what? I hated the AFL going way back to 1960.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I'm over it pretty much now.
I'll probably cheering for Kansas City. I like Mahone.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. Yeah.
You know, people say he deserves it. Baloney, he deserves it. For God's sakes, he's a multi-millionaire many times over, living a dream life, head coach of a NFL franchise.
Oh, I got to give you something. And this is, I watch I follow college sports a lot. And there are a few colleges I cannot identify.
Okay.
Well, I was going to bring a slip, but one of them is UICMIC or some. It always shows up. I cannot put a name with that thing.
All right.
But I'll bring it in next time.
Okay. We'll figure it out. What's the average price of a Super Bowl ticket on the secondary market?
$5,000.
$64.29.
$64.29.
It's come down from over $7,000.
That's nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
God. Who's going to win in Iowa among the Democrats? Who's going to win in New Hampshire?
New Hampshire's going to Bernie. Iowa is going to go to Bernie.
Okay. I think New Hampshire will go to Bernie. I think Biden may squeak it out in Iowa.
You're probably right there.
May.
But I see Bernie having a hometown advantage in New Hampshire.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
By the way, he's kept his whole group together, too.
If is he ever going to learn to fly? He's up there, he's flapping his wings over and over, but he never gets off the ground.
His head gets messed up.
That's right. And the eyes get bigger and red. I told Monica, I said, that man's going to have a heart attack one of these, or a stroke right on stage when he gets that red face and fuming.
And he gets mad and starts yelling and screaming. And Tim Hortons, the donut shop of Canada, has dropped Beyond Meats from its menu. Not selling. Nobody's buying.
They ain't buying it, yeah.
And that's interesting.
Part of Burger King.
Yeah. Burger King is still hanging on to it, but it's not selling, and they had to put it on their
2 for $6. I saw that.
On their,
and that's an expensive sandwich.
That's right. Yeah.
And to put it in right with a regular Whopper, you mean that does mean something.
That's right. They put it on their budget list.
I saw that too. I said, "There's something wrong to put when you put that sandwich because that thing was 60% more than the other ones were."
Goldman Sachs.
Yep.
Did a client poll.
Oh, we had 5, by the way.
Okay. Did a client poll. What do you think the results were?
I have no idea.
President Trump wins. 87% of their people polled said he's going to win.
Yeah, I can see that.
Only a handful don't. Only 5% see a recession anywhere on the horizon.
You see any kind of dark horse coming in as a candidate in the Republican Party?
No, not in the Republican Party. No. In fact, the president's got a stranglehold on things, and he's made it plain where he's taken the country. Yeah. And you know what? The smart guys, even if they don't like him personally, are saying, that's the horse that's pulling the wagon. I'm hitching right up to him. You think I'm going to mess with him? I want him supporting me in November.
Yeah.
Adam Schiff read this anonymous quote. He maintains the Republicans all got this note. All the members of the Senate received the same note. Support Trump or we'll have your head on a spike. Pike,
Yep.
yeah. I changed it to spike because I thought more people would know that.
I had to explain to him what a pike was, too.
But, I mean, that is such nonsense.
Yeah.
But for him to put it out there, he has no shame. But he said, "Oh, it's an anonymous quote. I can't tell you any more than that."
Yeah.
Has he lost his mind totally?
He has no professional ethics about him whatsoever. He lies. He distorts the truth. He just doesn't care. And yet, did you watch the Republicans' rebuttal to
No.
I watched Saturday and I watched Friday, Saturday, and Monday. And I got to tell you, I got a new respect. Well, I had lately. I couldn't stand Alan Dershowitz. I thought he was the most obnoxious thing out there.
Yeah.
That man is brilliant on a summation. I would not want him on the other side on a lawsuit from me. He was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a sharp dude.
Whoa, God.
Well, we're coming down to the end here, are we?
We are.
All right.
Yep.
So, folks, this is it.
Able-bodied producer just gave us the high sign.
gave us
Go
the high
wrap up,
sign
and I
and
don't think
said,
she was talking about a Christmas present.
That's right. So, look, we'll see you next time, and we'll give you some more of this stuff. How about that, huh?
Hey, keep thinking warm. Every
right.
nice day we get, that's a day less than winter time.
Exactly right.
All right. Take care.
All right, folks. Take care.